All right, folks, what is going on? This is episode 614 of the First and Frame Rate Show. I am Viv Baller. Over here, we talk about Georgia Southern and Atlanta Falcons football. You see me with the Georgia Southern get up on, but I just wanted to wear this today. It's kind of cool in the house today. My wife got the air on, and I'm kind of cold, so that's why I look kind of out of place for summer. But nevertheless, we're going to talk some Atlanta Falcons football. I'm going to talk some Desmond Ridder. And I want to give you my thoughts and opinions of why this kid is starting to make me a believer. I'm starting to believe that he's going to be a very solid quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons. I still was kind of in the air about it. Thought he was going to be so-so or just just all right. But I think he's going to be above average. And every time I look at articles or I listen about what he's done, it makes me more of a believer. And I'm going to go refer to this article on clutchpoints.com that I'm going to read what was said. Basically they're talking about some quotes that was in the Atlantic and other places, but they made their own article within all of that, what Coach Arthur Smith, Chris Lindstrom, and others have said about him. So we're going to get into all that and give my thoughts and opinions about it. If this is your first time here, welcome. I can be found on YouTube and Rumble. I'm also on Spotify, Stitcher, Apple, Google Podcasts. Be on the lookout if you're watching this or listening to this on Stitcher. I think they're about to be switching over to Pandora. Just want to give you a heads up on that. Also, I could be found on Twitter at VFBaller, and the website is firstandframerates.com. I want to thank you guys. Not just thank you. I always thank you guys for the support, but I hope you guys also had a phenomenal weekend. The 4th just came through, and people always go celebrate, do their thing as far as the 4th of July. And hopefully you all enjoyed your time with whoever you were with, family, friends, or if you had to work. I hope you enjoyed your time either way. Let's go ahead and get into this because I like Desmond Ridder. I've always liked him ever since he was at Cincinnati. And for him to drop all the way down to the 3rd round was actually kind of criminal in my opinion. I thought he should have been a 1st-round pick. I really thought that he has 1st-round talent. But I always, no matter where you've been drafted at, I always take a wait and see approach. I want to see what you can do. And when Mariota was finally not the starter and Desmond Ridder came in, Des played pretty okay. He played all right. He wasn't nothing too flashy, nothing too crazy or whatever the case may be. He made a couple of rookie mistakes, made a couple of pretty good throws. And I think it did enough to warrant him to be QB1 for next season, at least going into the next season. See what you got with him. I think he earned the right for that because he actually played okay. But with that being said, now we're getting into the season, getting closer to preseason, and some question marks were starting to come up on my end. I was thinking like, how is this going to play out? I like what I hear from what other people saying, but there's more and more people starting to say things about Desmond Ridder on a positive light. And there's more things that people starting to say that, hey, wait a minute, with Desmond Ridder, what he can do on the field with the weapons he have around him, he should be a pretty, solid, above average quarterback. And at the end of the day, I think that's all we need based on the talent around, him. You got a decent offensive line. You have, a couple of good running backs, some receivers. There's already talks about Jarvis Landry possibly signing. I don't know, I don't know how that's going to go, but I'm not against it, honestly. You have a pretty decent front 7 on the defense, and the secondary is looking really good. So we're looking at a team that's that's catered around Desmond Ridder for him to not fail, and that's pretty good. Now, when you have a team around a quarterback that can do some good things, and he got the game down mentally, all he has to do is go out there and perform and don't make any crazy mistakes. And I don't think he's going to make those type of mistakes. I didn't see it even when he was a rookie. He didn't make many mistakes. He didn't make mistakes to make you say okay, I don't want to see this guy on the field anymore. He did enough to make you think, okay, what's more to this? He didn't have Kyle Pitts last year. What's more to this? He didn't have Jonnu Smith. He didn't have Matt Collins. The only person he really had was Drake London. Now you got all these other people coming in with Scotty Miller, possibly, like I said, Jarvis Landry. Bijan Robinson is in the backfield along with Tyler Algier. This is a setup for Desmond Ridder to succeed. And I think he's, with that being said, on top of everything that I've seen in this article, it started to make me a believer. I think this kid's going to be, pretty good, at least to start out. think he's going to be above average. You know, I mean, you can't ask for more than that. I'm going to have the link down in the description to this article. The article says the reasons why, or the reason the Atlanta Falcons are starting to beginning to trust Desmond Ridder as the 2023 season looms. And I'm just going to read a couple of things that are that's from the article. Not going to really read the whole thing. It's a pretty long one. So it says, Ridder finished the season 2-2 as a starter, throwing for 708 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, with a 63% completion percentage. Yeah, I said that twice. 4 games were hardly enough for a sample size, but it was all the Falcons got. It did, after all, lead Ridder to start and earn the job. But then again, who else is there? I mean, the only thing I could think of, you really wasn't going to get anybody else. Everybody thought Lamar Jackson was going to come here. People, didn't know what was going to do at quarterback, or we're going to draft another quarterback. And, you turn around and, you get Taylor Heineke as a backup, and kind of got the writing on the wall what was going to happen. 63% completion percentage. I wish that was up to about 69. But then again, if it was up to 69, he'd have threw over like maybe 1,200 yards, in this 4 games. So nevertheless, some of those lingering questions about the quarterback to be rumored to be addressed during the draft. Falcons were rumored to be moving up from the 8th position. Some of them said that, I'm paraphrasing, some was going to trade their pick, the pick to Tennessee. Hold on, let's listen to this. This is a crazy part of the article. Now, this doesn't make any sense. The Falcons were rumored to either be moving up from the 8th position, getting one of the highly touted quarterbacks, or trading their pick to Tennessee, receiving Ryan Tannehill in return. Let's listen to that. You give up the 8th pick for Ryan Tannehill, Coach Arthur Smith should have been fired. Point blank. If that's a rumor, that let it stay that couldn't even be in a discussion. Ain't no way. Nevertheless, the Falcons instead chose to give Ridder more help, drafting a talented running back, Bijan Robinson. The move, along with others in free agency, proved that the Falcons were putting their trust in the second-year quarterback, for better or worse. I mean, will it be enough? Yeah, I think it's going to be enough. I think I think, all these players that we got around Desmond Ridder, if they don't succeed, I don't even know if it's going to be on Desmond Ridder. I mean, yeah, he's a quarterback, but I mean, how you make all these moves and you can't coach your team to be better than the record from last year? I think that'll probably fall on the coach, especially if, Desmond Ridder's out there just not, doing everything he's supposed to do as far as actually performing at quarterback, but he just can't get the wins. Now, if he's out there stinking up the joint, throwing incompletions and interceptions, that's a different story. But if he's doing his job and we still can't win games, then that might be on the coach, because you made a lot of moves. They're also a part of this article talks about him being the 74th overall pick, kind of comparing him to other ones that was in that realm of picks, like Russell Wilson, Matt Schaub, Josh McCown, Nick Foles, Jacoby Brissett, those type of players. And that's not much to talk about there. Ridder has shown, now this is what I want to talk about right here. Desmond has shown growth as a quarterback. It starts with the group Ridder is leading, and for him, that's the offensive personnel he's been assigned with to take the Falcons to the next level in 2023. Players are now talking about him having a great presence and becoming a natural born leader. Now, we talked about this already, where Desmond Ridder was becoming to be a leader of the offense. I mean, I think they kind of talked about that, how well he was able to command and lead back in preseason. So this is not nothing new. Chris Lindstrom, offensive lineman, says he's taking command of everything. He's doing a great job. He's staying true to himself, which is cool, being how he always was. As an offensive lineman, communication is the biggest part. If something comes up, just the tone of voice, the command of that, you can't ask for anything better than what Des does. You know what else he talked about this about? And they said this immediately when he hit the field. They said it about Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan had a voice that commands the huddle, that commands the offense. I mean, ask Mohamed Sanu. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about as far as commanding the offense. If you know, just look up Matt Ryan, Mohamed Sanu, and you kind of know what I mean. You'll find it. So you find these type of quarterbacks who want to take the lead, take command, and he understand the game. And he had almost a year to understand the mental part of the game. Can he link that up with the physical part of the game? So that'd be awesome. Coach Arthur Smith also says that Coach Arthur Smith has been impressed with Ritter's incremental improvement, noting that his ability to absorb new concepts and make daily progress throughout the season. Per The Athletic, Coach Arthur Smith said, "We've thrown a lot at him. There are certain things that we continue to harp on and will continue to evolve, but you have seen a lot of daily improvement. We're very pleased with the progress that he has made day in and day out." Offensive coordinator Dave Ragone acknowledged the anticipation growth of Ritter as well. Ragone explains that the team set expectations for all players, and Ritter is no exception. "You're in the second year of a system, and there are certain expectations," Ragone said. "There's a certain bar that we want our players to be able to continue to push. For him, it's no different from what we ask the right tackle, left tackle, or left guard to do. Just come in and do your job." And that's basically what it is. See, a lot of people want to categorize, the quarterback position as doing everything. And you get the flashy looks of quarterbacks making highlight plays. That's a lot of improvising. That's not leadership. I'm sorry, it's just not. Leadership is, don't get me wrong, these guys that do the flashy plays, they're tremendous leaders. But we all get caught up in the hype of what we see when it comes to the flashy part of being the quarterback. Lamar Jackson juking somebody out, the crazy throws that Mahomes do, Joe Burrow making, the play what that needs to be. But in some cases, and I think Jalen Hurts is a really good example of this, you just go out there and do your job. That's all you do. He doesn't do anything wild and crazy. Yeah, it looks good, but when you really look at what he doesn't do nothing out of the way. Even Ryan Tannehill was like this at one point until Ryan Tannehill did his thing. But you don't do anything that's out of the norm of your position. I think there's one reason why Matt Ryan was so effective. He didn't do anything that was out of the position. He just basically did his job. And really when you find players that just do their job and don't, mess anything up, yeah, you have a lower risk of having like clutch plays and flashy plays and over the top plays that make the highlight reel. But what you get is a consistent, solid level of a positive play. And at the end of the day, that's really what you would want. I think with Desmond Ridder, what he needs to do is continue to be on the path that he's on. If he happens to make wild plays because of instinct, that's great. But right now, all we need him to do is get the ball to a Drake London, get the ball to Mac Hollins, get the ball to Kyle Pitts, get the ball to Bijan, hand the ball off to Tyler Algier, get the ball to Jonnu Smith. He does not have to do anything out of the norm. Only thing he has to do based on from his stats from last year is get his completion percentage up. If you get that up from 63 to 73, this kid is going to the Pro Bowl. This kid is probably going to go deep in the playoffs. This kid is probably going to be, in the running for damn near MVP. And yes, I said it. If you continue to make these numbers with no interceptions, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, and all you have to do is minimize mistakes and bring up that completion percentage, you throw for 73, 72 yards, the 72 percentage pass completion, you're going to be up there with the rest because what you're going to do is your numbers are going to speak for itself. And if we get that type of quarterback play, we definitely win over 7 games. We're going to the playoffs. You don't understand? We went 7-10 with Marcus Mariota at quarterback. And you see what numbers he put up. Like I said, Desmond Ridder just improves on that completion percentage. You got a really, really, really big problem on this team. And that's not just for the fans. I'm talking about for the opposition. So that's pretty much the end of the article. I don't think it's anything else here. Ridder, this is the last couple of paragraphs. Ridder himself has also expressed increased confidence coming into the season, attributing it to finally having a full season under his belt with a deeper understanding of the game and improved comfort. Ridder focus now lies on executing plays with precision and mastering the intricate details of the Falcons' offensive system. I just said that in dummy terms. I just said that paragraph in dummy terms. So it's exactly what I'm saying. He just needs to execute the small things, make sure that the ball placement and the completion percentage go up. This team is going to go places. You understand? We went 7-10 with the team that we had. With all these improvements, and we have a quarterback that plays smart, we're going to be a problem for the entire NFC. Probably the AFC too, man. The AFC is so stacked though. But this is why I'm starting to believe that Desmond Ritter is going to be the guy. He's making me a believer because of the stuff that you hear in this article, the stuff that you see him do, the things that you hear about him, you know, the things that you're going to see when training camp starts. Can't ask for more than that, guys. You just can't. If you like this commentary, hit the like button, share this podcast, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let me know what you guys think. Am I tripping? Do I know what I'm talking about? Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. I think Desmond Ritter is making me a believer, and I'm starting to get on this train. I think our QB1 is going to be much better than advertised. And based on what this team is saying, I'm starting to believe when you hear Chris Lindstrom, Coach Arthur Smith start to say things, you really start to understand that, wait a minute, there may be some validity to this because Desmond Ritter, not Desmond Ritter, but Coach Arthur Smith, anything that he said was pretty much been on point ever since he walked in the door. And when Chris Lindstrom speaks with the clout that he has garnered based on him making, you know, Pro Bowls and being one of the top guards in the game, you might want to start listening to what he's saying. These guys don't say this stuff just to say it. I can be found on YouTube and Rumble, also Spotify, Stitcher, Apple, Google Podcasts. Hit that like button. Give me a 5-star rating if you don't mind. I really, really appreciate it if you made it this far. I can't thank you guys enough. I am on Twitter at VFBaller. Also, the website is firstandframerates.com. You can go over there and check out the website, subscribe to the podcast, and support your boy. There's ways to support the show as well. All right, y'all. I'm going to get up out of here. I thank you guys once again. You guys take it easy, and you guys be blessed. Peace.